Welcome back to the class with your favourite BBC Young Jack. We have a very special guest today. Do you want to introduce yourself?
Yo, what's up? I'm Jafaris.
Oh, Mr. Stride himself. Congratulations on the successful Stride. How do you feel?
Thank you. No, thank God. It's all a blessing. Just glad that it's out and like people actually receiving it well and stuff. And it's a good time.
I was at your launch party. That was wow.
Yeah.
It was honestly, it was actually like wow, because with like obviously it was his first of its kind in Ireland anyway, and then like I didn't know what to expect, you know. And I went and you just blew me away. I was like, what a wow, honey.
I appreciate that. It was definitely a moment for like Irish hip hop, I would say, and I didn't realize how important or what it was gonna be, because it was just like, all right, a listening party, and then people came through and the vibe and the atmosphere was amazing, and it was just majority people from the scene and stuff.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
It was just like super proud and excited, and it's just good moment.
And it's just nice to kind of get support from like your peers and stuff like that as well.
Yeah, 100%.
So let's talk about Stride.
Yeah.
So listen, when it dropped, I'm not gonna lie to you, I didn't listen to it.
Yeah.
And then I didn't listen to any album that dropped that day actually. And then I kept hearing reviews and I like, do you know when you kind of be like, oh, people are just chatting shit, overgassing them all. When I listened to myself, I was like,
for real?
No, honestly, do you know what? Yeah, because I wasn't expecting to be like that.
Yeah.
And then it literally, it was bringing me like on a roller coaster of emotions. So it was kind of goes down and goes up and then goes back down again.
Yeah.
Why would you do that to us?
I don't know. Like, I didn't really plan on the list of songs being in that position, but in terms of like how I wanted the story to be told, it just made sense that way. And then obviously sonically it just did what it did, and then it brought it high, brought it low, and stuff like that, and it just happened naturally, I guess.
So you're telling me the set list wasn't like structured to be like that at all?
Nah, like, so we started on the process and just started making a bunch of songs, and then obviously as time progressed and as I grew up and started like piecing what I wanted the concept to be and getting the name from certain places and just like being where I wanted to be in terms of a creative space, I just started making songs that like I knew I wanted on the project, but I didn't know where on the project I wanted them to be. And then when we were finished, it was like, all right, cool, so what positions do you want them to be in? And it took me another like week to even decide that, because I was like, no, I want this story to be told first. I actually genuinely think I made a mistake, because I would have rather Brother's Keeper to be first before Stride, but like that's very meticulous. Like, it's not,
I think the start of it was kind of like, to me, I like the first song of the album to kind of grab me in, but to be very honest, it was kind of like, oh, okay, I'm here now, so I might as well finish the whole album, innit? And I remember, as I was going down, I was like, oh shit, what the fuck? And I was like, okay, yeah. And then I was like, what the fuck? You actually really got me at Family. And I was like, oh, what's that? And I chopped and screwed, and I was like, what the fuck? And then the song ended, and I was like, wow.
Yeah.
I was like, why you gotta do that to the kids?
Yeah. That wasn't even supposed to be a song. I think they just put it on the list like that by accident or something. I don't even think it was an accident. It was just like, it wasn't a song. You get me? It was just supposed to be a piece. Because I went to my country. I went to Zimbabwe last year, and they were at like a burial site, and my family was just singing. And it was just like, it hit me while I was there, so I recorded it on my phone. And then I wasn't planning on putting it on the album or anything, but I was like going through my camera roll, and I was like, nah, this has to be somewhere. So I sent it to my producers or whatever, and they chopped it up and did stuff, and I was like, yeah, it was supposed to be a song, but then like I think we started running out of time, and I just didn't even know how to create it into a song or whatever. So I was like, nah, let me just leave it there, just for the culture, I guess. Yeah, exactly. For a family.
So let's go back to the proper, like the beginning of like the making of Stride. Like, how long did it actually take you to create the whole album?
I'd say it took me 9-10 months to make it. Yeah. It was like a long process, and it would have taken a lot longer if my manager didn't pull the plug on it, because I was only getting into my stride. Like, I felt like I was only now being able to paint my picture the way I wanted it to be. And then it just had to come to a close, because it was like, nah, we're missing deadlines, we're missing this. And I was like, oh shit, all right, cool, let's just leave it at that.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Are you happy with the final product though?
I wasn't at first, but I let it breathe. Like, after the mixing process, I was like, all right, let me listen to it. I listened to it, but like, I was listening to it with the ears I've always been listening to it, you get me?
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, cool, let me let it breathe or whatever. So I let it go for like 4 months without touching it. And I went back to it and I was like, whoa, okay, this makes sense to me. This makes sense to me. And I was like, all right, cool. And I had to really just go through the process of like, all right, whether or not people like it, I said everything I needed to say, how I needed to say it. So like, we'll see what God does with this one, kind of thing.
Right.
Yeah.
And like you did say, like, it is one big story, but it's a very like personal story. Like, why did you feel like the need to kind of bring out your personal story in the whole album?
I didn't feel the need to do that. It just came out, you get me? Like, I know like we all hop on like ignorant songs here and there, we party and stuff, but for the most part, everything that I feed myself, or everything that I experience or observe or like have a perspective of, always seeps into the music, whether it's on an ignorant song or not. Like, just always have to say something that like either means something to me or will mean something to someone else. So like, for my first album, I was like, yo, I think that's important to do that, to capture like who I am, what I want, my needs, desires, dreams, fears, all of that, and just put it into one project, and people like it. So
like, from listening to the album like as a whole, it looks like you're kind of like, the writing process seems like as if you're going through like a self-reflection moment, or like a 100%. Self-doubt moment. Like, what was that like? Yeah,
like, that's just my whole journey as an artist though, to be honest. Like, I feel like I've been so like on myself, like telling myself that I'm not good enough, or this person is better than me, or like I'm terrible at this or this or this. And I'm like, all right, cool. I went through that process, and I think the album really brought me to a place where I'm like, all right, cool. I feel like I know what I want. I feel like I'm ready for what's in store. I feel like I can hold my own in terms of confidence. So I was going through so many emotions during this whole process. Like, I would chill with some of my friends or whatever who do music, and just be afraid to show them certain songs while they're showing songs, because I'm like, like, they're better at like a chorus, or they're better at like verses, or they're better at lyrics. I'm like, but like, that whole process, literally, there's certain moments that I think just God allowed me to get into that were like, no, you have to start believing in yourself, or stop procrastinating, or take time for yourself, or like stop letting your ego get the better of you. And there's so many things that just like seeped into the album. Yeah.
Because then when we kind of move into the middle of the album, like when we go on to songs like Shanduka and stuff like that, we kind of feel like you're more confident in yourself. You talk about you're the best in the game. And people want to start calling me when I'm on YouTube. So like, who's calling you now?
Now, see, those songs aren't even like I'm acknowledging the ego, but I'm not like trying to be the ego, you get me? It's like, I tried to define that on Shanduka, where I'm like, the second verse and the third verse is like my ego's actual voice, and like we're having a real conversation. Like, it's like almost like I made him a real person so I could confront him and be like, yo, I'm not trying to be like you, type thing. But he's kind of coming at me like, yo, I want to take your place, because you are getting all this notoriety, you are getting all this praise, but you're not handling it well. Like, when people tell me like, oh, you're sick or this, I'm like, thank God.
Yeah, you're always like that.
Like, I just don't know, because I feel like it's not by my own, and I'm not trying to be all spiritual and stuff, but like, I genuinely feel like when I'm writing, it's not coming solely from me, and I know when it is coming from me, because like, I can easily like give that song to somebody else and just not feel attached to it. But whenever it feels like, yo, God's really speaking through me and really wants me to say this, it just feels like, yo, I can't take credit for this. Like, and I know it sounds crazy to say that, but like, genuinely, I'm like, yo, all glory to God. And also, it keeps me in like a place of like, I can still be humble and still be successful. Like, I don't need to go out and tell people like I'm the best, or I do this or I do that. It's like just let everything speak for itself, type thing. So I just need to say it that way. Yeah.
We see that, like, you bring up your religion a lot. Like, we kind of introduce that in, like, songs like Time. You're like, oh, if it's not for Him. The first time I heard that, I was kind of like, he can't be talking about God, is he? I was like, no, honestly, I was like,
yeah.
So I was like, okay. And then when the album came out and the rest of the songs, I was like, oh no, shit, he definitely was talking about God. Why did you feel the need to make sure that your religion was kind of it was being shown through your music? Like,
well, like I said, like, everything I put in, I get out. So, like, this is the first, like, time, I guess, or this whole period of making the album, I was genuinely trying to work on my relationship with God. So, like, I felt like I heard Him more. I felt like I was, like, connecting and understanding His word more. And, like, I guess when you have some level of understanding, it sticks with you. It's like, even if you're not quoting Bible verses or whatever, you can still speak on the verses that really, like, stood out to you, or even just experiences that God has put you through. So for me, it's just like what I was feeding myself literally just showed up. Like, it just put itself on the album, and it just made it more real and more, like, purposeful that way as well. It's just like, yo, because you didn't do this by your own, like, admission, because I know the album would have sounded completely different if I hadn't, like, added God into it one way, shape, or form, in terms of, like, even praying before I wrote a song, or praying before we did any sort of deals or any sort of, like, shows or anything regarding the album. I had to pray for every kind of step. Obviously I missed some where I'm like, yo, this is a good opportunity, I'm just gonna take it because I want to take it, but for the most part I kept God in it, and it was just like, that's what came out. Like,
speaking of being, like, a Christian in the industry, like, what advice would you give to other people who are in the industry that are kind of struggling to, I wouldn't say accept their religion or something like that, but to kind of make sure that the religion shows to their work, their art?
I don't think it should be something that you force, though. I think it just should be something that, like, if you are a Christian and you do believe in God and whatever, and you genuinely should have a relationship with God, like, naturally, and that stuff will naturally happen. It's like people always kind of misconstrue the fact that, like, you don't go out of your way to stop the bad habits. God does that for you. You get me? Like, you just have to, like, focus on Him, and everything else will follow. And I feel like that's probably the same way with artists as well. Just focus on Him, and then it would be so much easier to even talk about Him without feeling away, or just making a song that's about Him without making it in a certain way, or whatever. Yeah.
So basically, let go, let God.
100%.
Yeah.
Always.
So let's talk about stimulation theory. Who was that that you're speaking to?
That's my engineer, Martin.
Right.
Yeah. That conversation was very random even to put in there, but I kind of put it in there because of the song that comes after it, Temple, and that's like, I felt like I was kind of setting a scene for, like, the next song kind of thing. It was just literally talking about, like, his theory on the fact that he thinks we're in, like, a globe that somebody's watching, and it's not, like, he doesn't believe in, well, I don't know if he believes in God or not, but, like, he just believes that, like, we're in this place that was created, that, like, other humans or other life forms are watching and controlling what we do, and predestination and all these things. And I just found it interesting because I have definitely gone through those thoughts where I'm like, you minus God from the equation, and just like, what if we're in a dream, or what if I wake up there? And it's like, it was just interesting to put in there, I think.
That's right. I feel like when I heard that, I was kind of like, why would you say that? Like, I was like, oh my God, what if? Then I heard Temple, and I was like, I felt a bit bad, but then I was like, listen to the whole thing, it's very thought-provoking.
Yeah.
Especially the last song was very, like,
Ghost,
wow. I was like, why would you want to do that to people? I feel like I can't listen to it without proper my head really doing overtime thinking about different things. Like, is that the thing that you wanted to kind of portray?
I'm just like that though. Like, when I talk to people, I can't just have surface level conversations. Like, I need to, like, obviously there's small talk, whatever, which I hate. So I just always just need to say a bit more, or like, I have this thing where I like to impact in someone's life, like, in one way, shape, or form. Whether it was I made them start brushing their teeth a bit more, or just changing their socks, or something small like that. But like, I have this, I don't know why, but I just always want, like, my print to be on someone else's life, whether in a small or big way. So with the music, it gives me the voice to speak to a multitude of people, and then have them have like dialogue amongst themselves or with themselves and be like, oh, I never thought about it from that angle. Or
yeah. Let's talk about Keeping Brothers.
Yeah.
Why that song?
So that song, I don't know why not that song.
Like, I loved it. Yeah, there's a bar you say something like, I'm not a king, I'm a president.
Yeah.
I was like, you thought.
Like that, obviously I was still flexing a little bit in that song. But I mean, just the whole thing behind it is that, like, I'm trying to acknowledge, even in Brother's Keeper as well, it's like a spin off the same song.
Yeah.
Just more mature, I think, in Keeping Brothers, in terms of, like, Brother's Keeper was written way back, and that was written probably last year, 2 years, like, around Christmas time.
Okay.
And, like, I was writing that, like, while I was amongst my friends for Christmas, and we were in Cork or whatever, and I was like, man, these are actually my boys. You know when you start really defining like who's your boys and like who your real friends are. I was like, yo, like I need to keep these around, kind of thing. Because especially at that time, I wasn't really present. Like I wasn't known or anything, but I was just putting in so many hours into trying to get to this stage even.
Yeah.
So I was like, yo, like I'm just gonna distance myself, and that wasn't conscious. It just happened. So then when I had time to like really chill with the boys, I was like, yo, let me acknowledge the boys in this album somehow. And then Keeping Brothers came about like a similar way, but because in a more like spiritual way. Like my boys started this thing where we meet up every Sunday, and like we talk about God and all these things, and we grow and cultivate each other as men. So I was like, yo, I need to keep these brothers. You get me? They're not like I'm not. It came from like I was always the person that would come and be like, yo guys, like let's maybe not do this or maybe not do that, blah blah blah. Like, but I was always being caught in like whatever they were doing, even though I didn't want to do it. And then when roles were reversing, like now the boys are like taking charge of their life and stuff, and like we've split up to come back and be like, let's properly like live life for real or for God. Like I'm like, yo, I need to keep these brothers, because like it's not just me trying to keep my brothers, like it's not just me trying to be the keeper, like I have to keep them like literally close to me, kind of thing. So
I feel like a lot of people at a certain age, they can relate to that song. When you get to a certain age, like even myself, I was like, oh my god, yes, my family. I was like, guys, this is the song, I love you lot. It's a great song. What is your favourite song on the album? Or do you have one?
Favorite song on the album would have to be Ghost, which is the outro. Why? I wrote that, like, that song wasn't supposed to be on the album. It was like a side project. So me and my engineer, who also produces, we were just like, let's just try like go back to that whole like neo soul type like vibe. And I feel like my voice sits better on that type of vibe. But obviously that's not what's popping, and like I don't like boxing myself, so I'm like, alright, cool, let's just do that as a side project. But when I got the beat, and then I was like, I had just finished church or whatever, and I was waiting around for like my family so I could leave. But I had like 45 minutes to like kill, so I was like listening to the beat, and for some reason everything that like is on that song just came to me, and like I didn't deep it until I listened back to it after it was like finished recording. I was like, whoa, this, like it hit me. And I remember showing it to a friend and she cried. And I was like, and as soon as she cried, I was like, yeah, I think I'm gonna put this on the album, because it was just like, it was me reflecting on myself and like adding, I guess, certain things that people have said or said they thought about me or whatever, and then just kind of encompassing it all into like, yo, I could have been this and more if I hadn't like wasted time, if I hadn't like chilled with the boys too much, if I hadn't like not taken care of my body and stuff, which is literally me foreseeing that so I can start doing all those things now, you get me? So like a self-reflective moment. Yeah, basically. And that's like, yo, I have to put that on the album.
When I first heard that, I was like, what the fuck? I kept thinking, I was like, who's he? And of course I was like, And I texted Kelly. I was like, Kelly, did you hear this song?
Wow.
I was like, what the fuck is going on? Like,
Wow.
I think the last 3 songs. Personally, my favorite song is Sanduka. I love that song. And then, so see what Sanduka, right? Is it Sanduka? And then the gunshots and it's like any last words, and the song Silver Bullet. Was that on purpose?
Yeah. That
I just thought that was so sick.
This was definitely the time where I was like, yes, now I know exactly what I want to write about, and I want to piece it exactly where I want to put it. Everything else was kind of placed, but like those songs, I was like, yeah, I want them right after the other kind of thing. But yeah, Sanduka was like me having that first real contact with my ego, and then him kind of like making me bow down to him type thing, and then having Silver Bullet come in and like it's like 2 stories in one. It's like, yes, the ego's trying to kill me now, but also like everything I could possibly think of if a gun was pointed to my head or anything was like threatening my life in a moment. Alright, cool, right this moment, what would I think about? And that's literally all that came out. And then like I get shot in the chorus, and then the second verse I'm like, basically Ghost is a reiteration of that verse where I'm like, this is all the stuff I could have done. Like, didn't get mama that house, didn't get pops that whip, I wish I did more. Never gave my baby that life, chill with her bros, never cared too much for my tempo. And I'm kind of like adding like certain songs that I mentioned. It's like, yo, procrastination is a real thing, and I went through it like very, very badly, and this was me trying to tackle it almost. And then it goes into Ghost where I'm like, yeah,
I just think that's such a sad song. No, honestly, like I felt like giving you a hug after I heard that.
Really?
Like, I'm not a crier, so I'm not gonna lie and say that I cried. I don't even cry. When I heard that, I was like, oh, this nigga needs a hug.
Nah.
No, honestly, and like I was like, why would you like you ended the album on such a low? Well, to me anyway. I just thought it was such a low, and I was just like, what the fuck? Yeah, like it was really like it was great, and I was heard Sanduka, which is like, oh my god, yes. And then it hit my bottom again. I didn't like it.
It's just like, I actually don't know why. I think that's why I wasn't all the way happy with the album when I first finished it, because I was like, it feels like the story's not over, or it feels like there's a second part to this, because no way I can just go out like this again.
Were all these songs the way it's set when the album was done, when you didn't like it, or did you have to change it?
Yeah, they were all practically the exact same. Maybe just a bit more mixing and mastering was done before the album actually came out, but like this was the template basically.
Oh, wow.
And I wasn't happy with it, because I was like, yo, certain songs felt too short for me.
Like what?
Like Brother's Keeper actually has a second verse, which I might start performing like when I start performing it.
Right.
But when I took it out initially, I just felt like the second verse was unnecessary. I just felt like it was just me rambling. But like I listened and just put that in. But like, and people are asking for more for that song, and I'm like, sorry guys. But like every other song, I just felt like was meant to be that short. Like God's Not Stupid was like, that whole thing is literally where it ended. Like I had a conversation with a kid.
Yeah, he was that younger. I was
some kid. I don't think you know him though. His name is Lorenzo. I actually told him that it was about him.
Oh,
like,
really? What's he say?
He was just like, for real, just super gassed. I was like, yeah. We had a conversation, and literally that whole song, where it ended when I say God's Not Stupid, is literally the last thing I said to him, and that was why I ended it there. Cause he was like, nah, I hate when people try to get into my head, and he's like, I'll talk to you later, and he just walked away. And I was like, cool. And I don't know why, it just became a song. Literally.
That's it. Oh wow, that's mad. So do you think that are you satisfied with where you are right now? Because the way the album do you still feel like that?
Nah. I don't know what I'm searching for, if I'm being honest with you. Okay. I don't know what will satisfy me. But like, even with the whole attention thing, everyone's kind of like, everyone in my circle is kind of like, why aren't you more gassed, or why aren't you like trying to go out and like soak in all this love? And I'm like, I actually appreciate all of it, like 1,000%, but I just don't see it all ending here. You know, it's just like, this was a great start, but it's not like the end of the story type thing.
Not,
So like, when people come at me with that energy, like, oh, this is it, and I'm like, no, it's not, man. This is like a little minute moment in my life. Like, there's more to come. But I appreciate it and I'm humbled, but I'm not content. So
Right.
like there's always gonna be more.
Exactly. Are you still in the stage of like self-reflection, procrastination, stuff like that?
In a way, from a different angle.
Okay.
From a different angle completely. Like I feel like myself, on the progressive path of understanding where I'm supposed to be and who I'm supposed to be. But obviously, like, you know, there's no growth without any pains. Like, you need growing pains. So I'm like, all right, cool. I'm hurting in certain areas or whatever, but like there's a bigger picture. So I have to keep reflecting to get myself to remember that there's a bigger picture. Yeah.
That's mad. Let's go back a little bit. Jafaris, your name was Profound before, right?
Yeah.
So tell us with the change of name, why and what does Jafaris even mean?
Profound was a name I gave myself because I thought I knew everything. Like I genuinely thought like I was wise beyond my years, and I was like spitting songs that had like big ass words and stuff. This metabolism, all this stuff, and I know some songs made sense or whatever, but like if you were to ask me genuinely back then what those songs meant, I wouldn't be able to really like give you a proper, like I could waffle around and get away with it maybe, but like yeah, that's literally how Profound came about. But like the change was that like I saw a bunch of other Profounds pop up, and they were from the UK and different countries like that, and one in particular reached out on the comments of my YouTube video, and he was like, yo, we already have an artist named Profound, you guys have to battle for the name and that. And I'm like, hardly. And then like I disregarded that, but that was like one incident. And then after that, like I was searching myself on SoundCloud because that's where I usually used to drop my songs, and just saw loads of other Profounds. I'm like,
so you couldn't even find yourself? Like,
yeah, I could. It took ages to find myself, and I was like, and I didn't want to change the name because people were used to it now. But I just kind of like went on Google and searched up like alphabetical names, and then Jafaris popped out, and I was like, I'm gonna keep this just like in the back of my head. Like I didn't want to make it a thing, but I must have like put it up somewhere just like to invite people into knowing what that name was. And then as soon as like, what was the actual change? I think my first video with Nathan, like that became Jafaris' introduction, which was like Lucid Dreams or something at the time. And like I was like, alright, cool, this is how I'm gonna introduce Jafaris. And then from there Profound died and Jafaris became
what does Jafaris even mean then?
A deeper need to inspire. Yeah,
that's actually a very poignant name. That's actually really nice. I like that.
Thanks.
What do you think of the Irish scene right now?
The Irish scene? What do I think of it?
Do you even think of it?
I do. Too much, I think. Yeah, too much. I think it's safe to say that it's going in the right direction.
Right.
Like, and that's like, I guess only in the field that I'm in, I see it going in the right direction in terms of like hip hop or whatever.
Yeah.
And I guess I see it going in a progressive direction in other fields like fashion and even podcasts like this, and like platforms are growing and stuff. So it is fruitful. Like there's enough for us to get around. I just think in my field particularly, like we're missing like important resources in terms of like there's too many artists, not enough managers, not enough producers, not enough engineers, not enough studios,
not enough labels.
Yeah,
there's just not enough.
There's just not enough.
And I feel like a lot of people don't have knowledge in that area as well. So when they are taking on the role of managers and stuff like that, they don't really know exactly what they're doing.
Yeah.
Everyone's just freestyling.
Yeah, which is cool. Which is like,
but it's sometimes a bit dangerous. Like that's someone's dreams in your hands.
It is 100% dangerous. But it's like how can we tell them not to? Like if this is something that you say you're passionate about, like yeah, I'm passionate, I want to be a manager. Cool, do your research. Connect with people like where you need to connect. Don't just say you want to be a manager, take someone else's dreams here and then like do nothing with them, you get me? Because that slows. Yeah, like, basically, like yeah, we're in a good place. It's just like it could be way better, and it will be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I noticed that you don't have any features at all. Like I don't think I've ever heard you feature on anyone's song.
Really?
I don't think I've ever heard. Like none of your projects have, obviously apart from like Unique Soul.
Yeah.
But like I don't think I've ever seen any of features. Apart from obviously the ones like with King David and a few other that, but like I mean like in a body of work like an album or EP. There's never any features. Why is that?
Tomorrow. Actually, I am. I'm on one project. That's the Prod solo project with that song Durag.
Right.
Yeah, that's
just one.
Nah. You know what? I was so like, no, for a long time as Profound, I was working with everybody. I was doing everything. Like, hopping on this song. Majority of songs weren't great. Like, you get me? They weren't good. And then I remember like some of my friends were like, "Why are you hopping on your like? You're just ruining your brand. You're ruining your thing. Blah blah." And like I was like, all right, cool. So let me just distance myself. Let me just focus on my own thing. And then now I'm at that stage where I'm like, music is very collaborative. Like you actually have to collab with people so that like the music doesn't become the same or boring or anything like that. So I definitely will be collabing. I just haven't because I was trying to like figure out my own thing. Because I'm too experimental. So like I didn't know what would work with certain people or whatever. But I still collab behind the scenes, but I just haven't released those songs, I guess.
Right, that makes sense. And who have you or would you like to collab with that's in like the Irish industry?
I've collabed with JLOL.
Mm-hmm.
I've worked with TD. I've worked with Super Silly, Unique, Soleil. I have worked on songs with Lilo from Hair Squad. Who else? Yeah, a lot of people.
Is there anyone that you want to work with, or anyone that you even don't want to work with?
I'd like to work with Kojak. Do you know Kojak?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd like to work with Kojak and who else? Right now, there's a new guy I actually came across the other day. His name is Josh McClory. Amazing. He used to be in the band called The Stripes or whatever, but I never really knew who The Stripes were. Yeah. Apparently they did well. But like, yeah, he's amazing, so I'd like to work with him. But no, there's no one I wouldn't want to work with.
I just want to see you. Move faster than the sea.
Nah. It's not a matter of not wanting to work with them. It's just maybe not right now.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Give us your names.
Hardy.
Honestly, like you seem like such like not you seem like you actually are like when we look at like industry, you're actually just a good guy. Like you like
Thank
everyone
God.
has so like nice things to say about you. Even at the launch party, like at your listener party, every single artist I could think of was there.
Yeah, that's fun.
That's mad. Do you think that like you can be friendly with competition? Because obviously you are in the same scene, so it is competition.
Do you take it as competition? Would you say you have competition as a podcast?
I don't have competition.
No.
Me,
Why not?
Never. I would love some.
But what? Did you not see the competition? There's a bunch of people doing podcasts, you know.
They're not me.
That's exactly how I feel musically.
Look at you.
Genuinely, like I
media trade
hardly. There's definitely a point where I was like, I was looking at my own friends as competition, and it definitely created some sort of like weird energy. We fell out or whatever. But like now that like I guess I've created a name for myself, I'm more like, like I don't need to watch anybody else. I know the music is different. I know the genre is different. I know the message is different. Like, what am I competing against? You get me? Like, and it's not like, oh, I'm already on top or I'm the best or anything. It's just like, yo, you guys do your own thing. Like, put your work in. You get me? You'll get to where you need to get. Like, that has nothing to do with me. Your thing has nothing to do with like, or my thing has nothing to do with you. It's just like, do your thing. Like, there's no competition.
I like that. That's very positive thinking. This is why you're the good guy in the industry.
Okay.
What's next for Jafaris?
Next is literally just an Irish tour. Just doing 4 dates. Yeah, 3rd of May is the first one. That's the 3rd of May in Brown Factory, and next one is in 4th of May. I need to actually get like my thing to be like, yeah, this is where it is, whatever. But 3rd, 4th, 10th, and 11th of May, I'm on tour, and then after that, I just want to like go to the UK, work with different people, as many people as I can, and just stack up those features, I guess.
Yeah. Are you gonna be doing a bit more acting?
Yeah, I'm getting a lot more roles sent in now. I just haven't like, I can only kind of take my time to do commercials, but I can't do roles because then it takes me away from the music for a while. So I guess if I get like a long gap of like no music, then I'll probably try it, but I don't see that happening anytime soon. But if I can juggle both, I'll definitely try.
Would you ever branch into other things like?
I would. I want to own businesses, I guess. I want to invest in businesses. Maybe not like start a business, but I don't know.
Okay, Jay-Z, we see you.
I don't know. I want to think in that direction because music is
yeah.
not that lucrative. Like you can't be a millionaire on music alone.
Yeah,
I don't think so anyways. But
I don't believe that either. Yeah.
But you have to kind of like branch in and start learning how to do different things business wise. So like I'm trying to think in that way, but just no ideas yet.
Right.
No ideas.
So cool.
Yeah.
And do you ever want to go back to dancing? No.
I love dancing, but like I'm a fat cunt. I'm just fat now. You get it?
Your words, not mine. I don't want anyone to be saying that I'm completely fat. Actually, I didn't say shit.
I still love it. I just like I'm getting too stiff for it or something. Really? I'm losing it. I'm not practicing or anything. Like I'm.
So you lost the touch.
I would say that. I would say that.
Oh.
But when I go out, like I'm like, yeah, I'm still dancing. I'm still moving to the beat and that.
Yeah.
But nah, it's not to the standard that I would like to be.
Yeah.
Called a dancer still.
Are you gonna dance on your shows?
I've been dancing on my shows every show up until now. I don't think I want to dance anymore at the shows.
Why?
It's just looking too stiff, man. I'm repeating moves and that. I'm like, that's peak.
Oh, so it's really that bad.
Yeah. Like
that's embarrassing.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Do you want to give a last word to the classroom?
What do I say?
Cheers.
Appreciate you guys for listening. Go check out Stride. Follow me on Instagram.
It's in Tower Records right now, guys. It's only £8.
Yeah.
Just go there.
Just go get it. Yeah.
And class is dismissed. Wait for BBC.